Hello, today I'm going to be showing you how to do a brioche right cable cross, or a cross where a left column of brioche stitches crosses over a right column of brioche stitches, so it is a cable leaning to the right. So to do this, I've just worked across my fabric to where I want to do the cross, and then I'm going to do a final slip-on yarn over right before my cable cross. And now my preferred method is to use a locking stitch marker to hold my stitches, but if you prefer, you can use a cable needle and that will work just as well. So I'm going to slip my first shawled stitch onto the stitch marker, and then also slip that next stitch onto the stitch marker, and I'm going to hold both stitches on the marker to the back of the work. Now you can see I've dropped my yarn over. I need to make sure that that stays over my needle before I do the next stitch. Now I'm going to knit or bark into the next stitch. And now I will take my cable needle or my stitch marker that I've held to the back, and I'm going to slip that first stitch back onto my left needle. There we go. And slip it off of the stitch marker. And now I want to bring my stitch marker to the front of the work, so it's come in front of that left hand stitch, but behind my working yarn. Now I'm going to do a slip-on yarn over, and then take the last stitch that's on the cable needle and slip it back onto the left hand needle, maintaining my yarn over, and then I'm going to knit into that left hand, bark into that stitch on the left hand needle. And I have now completed a cross, bringing this left hand column of stitches over the right hand column of stitches. So I'll show you that again. Let's work across to the next set of stitches that I want to do the cable on. All right, so once again I do a slip-on yarn over just before the cable cross, and then I pick up my stitch marker and I pass that first shawled stitch and then the next single stitch onto the stitch marker and hold them to the back of my work. And again, my yarn over has fallen, so I need to place that back on the needle. I'll knit into the next stitch, and now I take my cable needle and place that first stitch back onto the left hand needle and bring that stitch marker around in front of the left hand needle behind the working yarn and to the front of my work. I do a slip-on yarn over into that stitch that I had returned to the left needle, and now I take the work off of the stitch holder, place it back onto the left needle, and I bark into that stitch. This can be a little bit tight, but just give it a little wiggle and make it work. And now I can finish out this row. And you can see here that I now have a cross to the right here and a cross to the right here. And as I knit farther, that column of stitches to the left will appear more. And this is a very versatile cross. You can use this kind of cross with knit stitches or purl stitches, so you can get a variety of different effects using the exact same sequence of stitches. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope you enjoy using this technique in your own knitting.